Hello, Gemini. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. If Gemini is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. And if there is anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Gemini, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And a Two of Pentacles. All right, very nice. I think we are taking some positive steps in perhaps a new direction. Well, let's put this into some context. Oh, interesting. Wow. Okay. Oh my goodness. Wow. There's a lot of major arcana right here. A lot of really good, abundant cards. Good earth energy, good major arcana energy. More good earth energy. Holy smokes. I'm a little bit speechless by this. There's a lot going on here. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card before we get too deep into this. We're just going to do one random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. And we'll put our alien friend right on top. That is Simon the alien. And hopefully the mystery card can tie everything together at the end. You know, give us the confirmation that we need. This feels very significant. Let's look at these energies now. We've got major, 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 major. That's a lot. We got some fire. We have no water minor arcanas. We have water major, which is this Hanged Man, and the moon. But we don't have any minor arcana water. We don't have any minor arcana air. We have barely any minor arcana earth. But we've got a lot of the earth court cards. A lot of court cards in general here, right? This is really cool. I see so many different things. I feel like you're stepping into a leadership role. I think it's time for you to take charge of whoever these are kind of the worker bees, whoever these other people are in your life. I think it's time for you to begin leading them, right? I think it's your decision. It's your, we have a little bit of water in this Queen of Wands, right? Water of fire. A little bit of water in here. So I think that you are making decisions. You are now leading this group, whoever this group is. It's maybe a work thing, family, friends, or, some kind of a spiritual organization or a charity or community thing, whatever it is. You're leading them. You're leading the construction of something. You're building something with these people. You have to step into the leadership role, right? And your leadership, your decision-making, your vision, all of it has to be informed by that little bit of water energy in there, which I think really it's the water, but it's the spiritual water, right? Because of this star card. The star is Aquarius, it's air, but it's kind of water too, right? It's that spiritual knowledge. It's that starlight. It's the divine wisdom that I think is the water inside of this leader, decision maker, someone who's out in front. Now, Gemini, we obviously have the Lover's card here. This is your power card. This card, though, is the card that is asking you to make a decision. Not just a simple decision like, well, what are we going to have for dinner? No, the big decision, cosmic decision, spiritual intensity, right? We have to use our discernment to really figure out what the appropriate path is moving forward. And I think that this is really connected with all of this earth energy, connected with your role as the leader. We have to understand what this new world is going to look like. We have to understand what the right changes are to be made in building up this world. See, this is all the energy that's kind of down below. This is what's going on, but this is what we're building. This is what's being formed on top of all of this other energy. Okay? But it's coming down to your own discernment, your own commitment, your own devotion to this starlight, whatever this principle is, whatever this truth is, whatever this source of spiritual wisdom is for you. This is the root of all of it, right? It seems a very, very spiritual kind of thing that you're building. Maybe you're building a church, a temple, a lodge, some kind of a spiritual order. And maybe it's a spiritual group, a meditation group. Maybe it's a group ritual. Maybe it's a prayer group, study group, whatever it is. It could be a business. It could be, could be starting a franchise of something. But you have to step into that leadership role. Okay, you're being kind of called to do it, especially with this Lover's card. But it's going to take a big commitment. It's going to take all you've got. It's going to take every moment of your day, really. But I feel like you've already made this decision to do it because of this Eon Judgment card, rebirth, reawakening, baptism by fire. I feel like you went through the gateway. And this is the future now that we're building. I feel like you've already made that decision. Maybe this was the Lion's Gate gateway for you. This was a major decision, I think, that you've already made in spirit, if not in the letter, to begin this work. Right? The decision, I think, is already basically signed and sealed. There is the need for us to now really commit ourselves to a plan, to a path, to use our discernment, to use our kind of Gemini energy, the ability for Gemini to analyze things, to separate and see things in their individual pieces with this kind of divine wisdom, that starlight that holds everything together. Right? It's kind of like we're stretching everything out so we can look at it, but everything is still unified. Yeah. It's not, we don't have any swords energy. It's not like we're just kind of spinning our wheels, or it's not like we are overthinking, overanalyzing, we're confused. It's not like a 7, 8, 9 of swords. This is the real spiritual discernment. So you're a leader that everybody can trust. I think everybody does trust that you will always make the decision for what is best for everyone. Maybe this is the family. We do have, we've got the knight, we've got the prince and princess, and we've got the queen here. We have a complete, family energy unit as far as the court cards go, right? But we see that the queen is the fire energy. This is the leader. This is the vision. You are the one with the spiritual discernment and the vision and the authority and the leadership to continue manifesting the starlight and build whatever this future is. Now, it's going to require a lot of changes. This is change in the right direction, This is change for the better. It's a lot of being proactive, a lot of positive changes. Okay? I think this is what you're involved with currently, is trying to make these positive changes. Maybe they're a little slow to implement. Sometimes this earth energy, when we're dealing with these kinds of earth cards, it could be a little slow to move. Maybe the progress isn't happening as fast as we would like. And maybe that's why we're in the fire energy now. Maybe that's why we need to kind of step things up with this fire energy to speed things along a little bit. Things are slowing down. But we're building this thing step by step, piece by piece. Okay? And maybe this is a family, maybe this is your department at work, maybe if this is your coworker, this is your business. These are friends that are now kind of going into this endeavor with you, something like that. But we're making these changes. And I feel like we're very much aware, here's the Princess of Pentacles, it's at the top of the path of the dove. We're very much aware of the potential here, right? We know kind of how big this thing could really be. Maybe you've had this great idea, you've made the decision to go forward with some sort of passion project, some sort of inspiration. You felt the star and this eon, and we walked through that doorway with this purpose, and you know that this thing could be huge. And we've got to keep that passion. We've got to keep that fire. You need to stay in the fire energy, because this is the burning fire of creativity and passion, ambition, right? Confidence, enthusiasm. You, I think, are being really filled with the Spirit right now, with this starlight, filled with a sense of purpose and destiny, and we just can't wait to get started. We just want to, I'd build it all right now if I could. Because we see what the potential could be. We know that this could really be huge, maybe. I mean, could be big enough to really change the world, right? A lot of potential here. A lot of potential. And with this star energy, it is something that is fully aligned with your purpose. I think that you've gone through that gateway and you've aligned with this starlight. Now you're just a full receiver of this spiritual energy. You've tapped into the frequency. And I think that this is giving you a tremendous vision, tremendous powers of leadership and of discernment. This really kind of day-to-day decision-making that we see with the Two of Pentacles. It's kind of it's permeating your entire life. Every action that you're taking is based on this path, this starlight, this will, this purpose that you've discovered. Everything is in line with this. Everything that you do, every decision is tuned to the same frequency, right? So when you do one thing, when you pluck one string, the whole guitar, I don't know, the whole thing resonates. It sings, you know, every decision. My cat here, she's singing too. Everything is in harmony. Everything is in alignment now, because you're in alignment with this, and this is the energy. Again, this is at the root of everything. It's what has to support all of this. But here we come over to the Hanged Man. There's a little bit of this, how do I say it? There's a little bit of this kind of martyr energy. You know, I'm feeling like this is very strong fire, right? And then this is very strong water. I feel like this is something that you are almost sacrificing your personal interest to do something that is going to change the world, right? It's almost like you're putting your personality, you're putting your personal needs secondary to do what this is, to do whatever this world is, whatever you're building. You understand the sacrifices that it requires. And I don't think those are bothersome at all. You know? I think that you're very willingly sacrificing your time, your energy, your blood, sweat, and tears to do this work. Whatever this is, something extraordinarily grand, something small, local, whatever it is. It feels like it affects the whole world, but it could just be something for you and your family, or you and your friend or something, or you and your pets. But it feels like the biggest thing in the world, right? Because you're so in tune with spirit on it. that this is the world-changing energy, you know. It is literally that. And it's requiring you to kind of put some things down, to sacrifice some other interests, desires, joys, or, you know, just what some of these little more personal indulgences that we've had, perhaps. It's requiring you to make some personal sacrifices for the bigger picture. And I don't think that you're not looking at it that way. It's almost as if the Hanged Man is not sacrificing but triumphing. You know, it's almost as if making all of these sacrifices, giving these things up, is liberating you, is freeing you. It's making you feel lighter, where we are now kind of emerging from the water in this victorious kind of posture, right? So what may appear to others, or may even to some parts of yourself, feel like we've got to give things up for the greater good, the secret is, and you don't want to tell anybody, you're actually happy to do it. You're happy to give those things up because now you're lighter, you're freer, maybe you feel better, you know, physically, mentally, emotionally. It feels like a triumph. You're glad to be rid of these things. Habits, you know, other friendships or other obligations, just whatever it is in our personal life that we might have to put on hold or sacrifice or put it at least to kind of second tier for this greater good. It feels like you're happy to do it. It feels like a triumph, feels like a win rather than a sacrifice, you know? And maybe it's because you know that this sacrifice is what is going to lead to the victory. You know? I really like this energy for you. I think that you're onto something really, really tremendous here. This kind of feels a little prophetic to me. It feels like this is really something that, you know, maybe we're still here. Maybe we're still at this doorway. And this is the prophecy that you're hearing, that you're witnessing, that you're envisioning. This is the revelation that's coming to you. This is the prophecy, right? Got moon energy, though. And I think the moon in this position, the timing, the environment, your relationships, I feel like this is the card that's saying it's time for change. This is us hearing the prophecy, knowing that it's time for that sun to rise. It's time for us to really step into our future, to awaken to our purpose, to our divine role. But there's a little bit of reluctance. Because this is a prophecy, and if we know anything about myth, the prophecy will always be fulfilled, but we don't really want to, you know. There's always this attempt to resist, you know. If Zeus were to learn about a prophecy, he would do everything that he could to prevent it from happening. But it still happens in the end, right? And that's kind of this card here. It's the moon. It's like we know the sun's going to rise and things are going to be what they are destined to be, but is there any way for us to keep the sun down? Is there any way for us to prevent the sun from rising? Well, we might try, right? Maybe we'll travel really, really fast in the other direction. It's not going to matter. So this card's kind of an accepting of the inevitable. Right? And there is this apprehension. And the prophecy doesn't even have to be bad. This is a good one. Right? This is a very productive, you're building something amazing. You're building something with no limit, infinite potential, and I think with the Knight of Pentacles here, something that's going to outlive you, something that is going to last and last. But there's still a little bit of trepidation. There's still a little bit of this kind of the fear of the unknown. really. Even though Spirit is giving you this prophecy, giving you this vision, this revelation of the future, but you're still like, yeah, but, it's going to be a lot of work. Sometimes I kind of like being in the water energy. I don't know if I'm really ready to swim to shore. Don't know if I'm ready to get out of the water yet and rise, like this with the Hanged Man. But our sacrifices are what is going to, and this kind of takes us back to very primitive energies, when cultures and peoples and civilizations would make sacrifices so that the sun will rise. We've got to keep the sun going by offering sacrifices to it as often as we can, right? And it's kind of the same thing, but I think it's more energetic, obviously, than a literal sacrifice. But it's our involvement. It's feeling like we are part of a natural process, and that our actions somehow affect these natural processes, that we are part of it, and we have an effect and an influence on the environment, right? The same thing, same way we sacrifice our water to the earth so that the earth can grow abundance that will in turn nourish us again. And here comes Titi, the Sphinx cat. Cats are very prophetic animals. Cats know things we don't. Anyway, the next energy that we didn't really talk about yet is the rest of the earth energy. I think that this is all of the labor involved in this process. This is the physical, this is the Prince of Pentacles. That is literally what you have to do. This is the physical work. And this is kind of following your own orders, right? Because we don't want to forget about this wonderful Lover's energy. Now, the Lover's card, as you probably know, it doesn't necessarily mean romantic relationships. This is the decision making. This is choosing what is best right now for the bigger picture. Choosing in this moment what is the right work to be done. And that's the Prince of Pentacles that does that work. So this is a lot of actual labor, a lot of actual building. You probably are using your hands to construct something. And it's almost keeping in close contact with Spirit to make sure that you're doing things the right way. And checking in every so often, every few minutes, to be guided, to be informed, so that you know what the plan is, and you know every step of the way what nails to use, what boards to use, right? You make sure you're still doing everything according to plan, according to that higher discernment. It's as if you have one of those toys that you can, it's like a ball or something, but you can expand it out, and then it just kind of goes back together. That's what I feel the Lover's card is doing, is taking everything apart, expanding it, blowing it up to look at it, and then putting it back together and say, okay, let's keep working. And I think this is this is that energy, but kind of in practice. This is the actual building of this thing. So whatever it is that you're doing, I think it's important to keep organized. It's important to keep checking in with the original plans. Keep kind of blowing it up and expanding it and looking at it, making sure you're on track, and then keep going, right? This is the part of the process that we don't want, but we need. This is the obstacle, the fear, worry, and concern, because I don't know how long this is going to take. To get from here to here could be an infinite amount of time. Get from all of the labor to finally seeing the thing built in the future, and with the Knight of Pentacles, creating something kind of, relatively permanent that's going to outlive us, that's going to outlast us. Something that has some staying power. Yeah. Very interesting. Let's look at the mystery card. Let's see what Simon has to say for us. Thank you, Simon. You are loved and appreciated. You can go back and rest over there. TT, what do you think this mystery card's going to be? She doesn't seem very interested. Anyway, we have a lot of earth energy. I don't think we need any more. I want to see some different kind of water energy. I want to see that we're satisfied with this, right? That there is this kind of there is something for our person to enjoy, right? It's not that we're sacrificing this water, that it's just my feelings aren't really involved here. I know I need to do this. No, I want to see that you're getting some rewards too, right? Let's see. No, that's not it. It is a tower. Now, the tower is the card of prophecy, right? This is the card of speaking things into or out of existence, right? This is the absolute strongest energy of change, because this change is divinely ordained. This is change that is unstoppable. Despite any efforts we could, this is the prophecy that is going to manifest. So there's no point in really resisting it, you know. This is the card that is related to the power of speech and of literal prophecy, you know. So I'm very, very curious now what you're doing. Very curious. Whatever it is, I feel like it will change the world, right? This is the tower. It doesn't necessarily mean destruction. It's not a violent card. It's a very abrupt card. It's a very disruptive card. This is a card that says, you know, everything is going to be changing. And it is the will of the universe, God, goddess, deity, ancestors, guardian angels, whatever you want to call it. This is a process that is happening. And this kind of energy is very closely related, I think, to this eon, right? It could be us going through this door is us enacting the prophecy. It is us kind of kicking this thing off, setting this prophecy in motion. We see motion here with the 2. Making this decision, if we choose to go through this doorway, maybe this is just the revelation, the vision, the potential that we're seeing. As soon as we go through this doorway, we're setting things in motion that cannot be reversed, right? This is something very significant for you, and perhaps for the rest of us too, right? Maybe for this collective, maybe for the world. Maybe you are building something that is going to outlast you, outlast all of us. It is a testament to your spiritual connection. I'm very curious what you're doing, Gemini. Curious what you're building. And of course, with a tower, sometimes things have to be torn down before they can be built back up. Right? That could be something specific to what you're doing. I don't know. Very intense reading. We are going to do an extended, Gemini. If you want to stick around, click on the link in the corner there, okay? New readings come out every day, 6 a.m. Chicago time. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next one, all right? Thank you for being here, and truly thank you for being the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot.